So this is what we're making, a hammered bangle out of square wire. Okay, it's time to go to work. You can see my bench has been newly refinished. The studio walls are all done. Floor is painted. Now all I have to do is find my bench peg and the rest of my tools. Outside, very nice. Okay, we're ready to go to work. You can see the bench is just chuckers with stuff again. And I haven't found my box of pliers yet, but I have enough stuff that I can do a little project. This is a piece of square wire, 210 millimeters long, 3 millimeters thick, and I just used the square rollers in a rolling mill to process some scrap. So we're going to saw these ends, clean them up a little bit, file them flat, anneal it, and bring the ends around so they touch perfectly and solder it, hard solder. The wire's annealed. You can either just grab it with flat half-round pliers or with your fingers and bend it into a rough oval. You could hammer it around a bracelet mandrel, but what you want is to make sure that the twist lines up. I'll just show you. And the bad thing about using the pliers is we're going to put little marks in it, but we just want to make sure that the flats and the wire line up and we have a good join. So make sure that it has tension holding it together, and then we'll solder it. So mix up your flux. Make sure that the water on top is mixed in with the borax. Flux the join, and I'm going to use 3 or 4 small pieces of hard solder that I'm going to pick up with my solder pick. 4. Now this is a fairly thick piece of metal, so I'm using the number 7 tip, and I've got the teeth cranked right up. And I've just picked up all the solder on my solder pick. I'm just heating the join, bouncing the flame off the charcoal block. When the flux goes clear, I'll place the solder and it should run into the join almost immediately. Like that. Turn it over, have a look. Make sure that it went all the way through to the other side, which it did. Quench it, pickle it, and then we'll round it up on the bracelet mandrel. So we're out of the pickle. Rinse it, dry it off, always dry it off before you put it on a piece of steel. And we're going to round it up on the ring mandrel using our rawhide hammer. And you can see it's a bit wonky at the moment. Well, I'm just going to flatten that out and then go on the mandrel. Pull it down as far as you can and then hammer it. Now square wire always wants to turn itself diamond shaped. You can see that the ridge is up on the top, but it's absolutely not a problem because we're going to flatten it, and you can basically take the twist out just by grabbing it with a set of parallel jaw pliers, holding it nice and tight, and then just pulling that down where it needs to be. Don't let it slip into pliers or it'll put a mark in it. Then after we get it reasonably close, what we can do is put it on the anvil, or a bench anvil will do, and just flatten it out so that this doesn't have a twist in it. After you've got it flat, file and or sand your join so that it's pretty good, and then we're going to just decorate this by planishing it on the bracelet mandrel. Now I've got this on my bracelet mandrel, and because I'm just going to put a pattern in, I don't want to stretch this much. I'm going to use the rounded end of the planishing hammer, and I'm just going to go all the way around. So you can see that it's just putting little light hammer marks. Yep, that's what we want. And then we're going to hold this on the large part of the bracelet mandrel. Make sure there are no marks in the mandrel, otherwise as you're hammering it'll transfer those marks to your metal. So work your way all the way around the side. And then flip it over and do the other side. And I know it will erase part of your marks, but it won't erase them all. I wanted a little more aggressive pattern in this, so I used my Fretz sledgehammer, because it's got a nice domed face and it's heavy enough it moves the metal quite well. So now we just need to make sure that it's flat, and we can hammer that on our piece of wood. So just turn it, doesn't look bad. And when you're hammering on the wood will actually give a bit and make it easier to straighten it. If you hammer it on steel, it just tends to bounce and not straighten it. That's good. So we hallmark it, polish it, and that's it. A nice square hammered bracelet. Very first project in the new studio. Ta-da!